Hey, what's up? Do you want to get better than the skill level that you're currently at? Do you feel like you're stuck and you're not improving? Do you constantly make the same mistakes over and over and over again? If this is you, then you found the right video. Throughout this video, I will be explaining how I got better and how I saw major improvement in my own fighting. A lot of us struggle with the same thing. One day you're able to lock in and all the edits are going through and you're making the best plays, and then the next day the complete opposite. I'm going to help you guys break this loop with just 4 simple steps. So make sure that you watch this video all the way through. Also, feel free to join my Discord. There's a lot of free things in there, things that you can use and take and learn from. And if you're already in my Discord, shout out to you. If you enjoyed this video and you watched it all the way to the end, you will become one of the Fizzy Pops. And the Fizzy Pops is just what I call my community. But anyways, I know you guys want these 4 steps really bad, so I'm not going to hold you guys up anymore. So without any further ado, let's get inside. First things first. Figure out what you're bad at. What's actually holding you back? And this could be something really simple. For example, if you suck at building, the solution isn't to play zero build. It's to learn how to actually build. If you suck at realistics or zone wars, the answer isn't to avoid them. It's to face it. And I mean that on all levels. You won't improve by avoiding what you're not good at. You have to step out of that comfort zone. And if you don't know your weaknesses yet, just play against better players. And I promise you, they will expose them for you. Now that you know what your weaknesses are, create categories. If you suck at building, placing builds and trying to put builds down. If you suck at defensive plays, which is basically when you're boxed up and you're trying to make an edit on someone but you don't know what exactly to do. Also, let's say you suck at box fighting. You don't know exactly what to do in a situation like this, so you just spam peanut butters. Pressure situations, when you're trying to make space for yourself and you don't know exactly what to do, so you're just making random boxes and jumping around frantically. I recommend you to go to your notes and categorize everything. It could be Google Keeps or it could be like a simple note app in your phone, whatever's best for you. Then I want you to group them together. Building and box fighting are really similar because of course you're building when you're box fighting, and when you're building, you're just building in general, but still you're building something. And defensive plays and pressure situations are very similar, so of course we're also going to put them two together. The purpose of that was just to find out what you were doing wrong. Now I want you to start fighting people with those things in mind. If or whether or not you lose, the main goal is just to fight. But after each match, I want you to go back into your notes and note down everything that happened. When you put yourself in that situation that you suck at so much, what happened? What did you learn? Did anything different happen? Did you try something that worked? Or did you try something and you got sent back to the lobby? Either way it goes, if something worked for you successfully, or if it didn't, note it down. You want to put it down in your notes regardless. The goal here is to experiment. You want to see what works and see what doesn't work. It's basically a do's and don't list, but you want to do this for every single category. And once you find out what works, you want to focus on doing that consistently in mostly every fight. And if you find a flaw in it, note that flaw. You mainly want to focus on your do's over your don'ts. Because one thing that I realized, if you do all of your do's correctly, majority of the time they won't even have enough time to think. And of course, when I'm saying this, I don't want you to ignore all of your don'ts. They still matter, but you always should mainly focus on your do's. And that way it'll clear up some of the fog in your head. Because when it comes to do's and don'ts, I know a lot of people tend to focus on both, and they prioritize both. And that keeps them at a halt. They're stuck in between not doing something and doing something because they're scared of what might happen if they do something wrong. And that's not the right mindset. You want to plan ahead and focus on what you should be doing and get it done as soon as possible. And that way there will be no room for mistakes because you laid out everything on the table correctly and got it done as soon as possible. And the simple fact that you throw it out there as soon as possible, it'll force them to go on the defensive. Step 2, fight better players. And this is mandatory. If you only fight players that you can beat, you're wasting your time. And to be honest, I wish I would have done this a long time ago because I would have improved so much faster. This is the most important part. You want to fight somebody that's more experienced than you or somebody around your skill level. If you continue on fighting with what you know works, beating the players that you beat all the time, nothing will ever change. You'll continue to win and you won't face any real challenges. But you will notice if you try those same exact things on different players that are more experienced and that are at your skill level, you will find out that those moves won't work as well. And this is the stage that a lot of you guys are stuck at. You hop on a game, you fight the same players in the same exact maps, in the same modes, you do the exact same tricks over and over again, and it works every single time. They all fall for the same tricks, the same moves, you do the same exact technique, and you think to yourself, it works, so why should I change it? And as long as it works, there's no problem, right? But if you do this, you just hold yourself back and you stop yourself from improving. Everything isn't going to work on everybody. But to make it easier on yourself, you can try to fight different players at a higher level to find out what to do in those situations against those type of players, instead of ignoring them and avoiding them and just calling them switch. The more you stay in that circle, the more you'll be stuck at that level. If you try old methods on newer players, it's not going to work. But if you transform your older methods into newer methods, well, to put it simple, you will just be adapting. If you're struggling against somebody, that doesn't mean that you're bad. It just means you're fighting someone with more experience. And every single time you fight them, you gain experience yourself. You can fight better players by joining Discord servers like NA Scrims, or you can use Fortnite trackers looking for player section. Some players have earnings, some players don't. Some have high PR. Some don't. You can load into a regular match and end up losing a fair fight against somebody. You can even go into creative and play 1v1. Nowadays, there's good players everywhere. Not to be cocky, but when I wanted to improve back then, everybody was around the same skill level, and I could beat majority of the players. So it was really hard to find somebody that was like crazy better than me, you know? But anyways, you just want to fight better players. Players that you know are decent, good, or that rival you. And while you're fighting these players that are more experienced than you want to make sure that you're noting every single thing that you're doing. If it's working, note it. If it's not working, note it. If they're doing a move on you or they're approaching you in a certain way that you can't counter, note that as well. If you approach them in a certain way and it works, note it as well. If it's a good action or a bad action, you must always note it. Clip situations where things went right, clip every good moment or any situation that you won fair and square in. When you clip good moments, this builds confidence and reinforces good habits. Step 3, turn knowledge into instinct. And this is the exact method that made everything click for me. We watch all of these pros all the time, right? And the thing about them is they always have a plan. If they're in the middle of the fight and something goes wrong, they had a plan for it already. You'll notice this in players like Peterbot. He doesn't hesitate. Every single time he makes a move or makes a play, he has a one-track mind. It's like a rocket. He doesn't falter. It's just straightforward thought. No hesitation at all. That's because he thought about it and he has multiple plans in his head. No one is just making up things on the spot. That's exactly how you become nervous and unsure of yourself. And if you play with this random mindset of coming up with things on the spot, you're more likely to lose more fights. But how do you do it? How do you turn your knowledge into instinct? I mean, every other pro is doing it. How do they do that so well? How is it that everything they do is like almost second nature and they don't make any mistakes? Well, I'm gonna tell you how. Alright, first things first, let's say I want to approach a box. Somebody's in a simple 1x1 and I'm trying to get in the course. The main approach that I would use is putting 2 cones right here with 2 high walls, well, 4 high walls up right here. Hit this peanut butter like this, or like this on this side. I recommend this side though. You can also do this, but that way you have a right hand to cover yourself up for whatever edit they do. You will always be covered up. And then at this point, you want to spread the wall weak, not break it. You want to spread the wall weak so you can see inside of it. As soon as they make an edit, if they do decide to make an edit or not, shoot the wall and break it. You see what that does is cancel their edit animation. It catches them off guard. So they could be like this, right? Inside of this box, gonna do a peanut butter on you. When they make this edit, you'll be right here. You shoot that wall one time and it breaks. They're going to be caught like this with their gun in their hand, and by the time they pull out their map, you would already have this wall. You can go for the peanut butter yourself. You can go for a long piece, you know, same thing, by shooting it out with your AR and then edit it on them. Even if you get this wall, you don't want to jump directly in front of this wall and start fighting and doing this, that, and other, right? Because what's stopping them from just doing this? Just taking the wall from you. Once they do, they'll have the advantage again because you came from behind your cover. That was box fighting, but now it's time for playing on the defensive. I'm just showing you guys examples, and then later on I'm going to show you guys how to turn it into instincts. Whatever side they're pressuring, you want to make sure that you have a peanut butter covering that side, whichever wall they're on. If they're on this wall, peanut butter covers this whole entire side up. My peanut butter is going to cover this whole side up like this, right? If they're on this wall, peanut butter is going to cover this side up, right? It's going to cover it up. That way, if they do get in, every single time it's going to be a peek waiting on them the whole entire time. That's better than you opening this wall up and having it wide open for them. Because when they break in, right, you're fully exposed. Versus if you have a peanut butter set up like this, they can't really see you because you have a whole entire peek. You're not fully exposed anymore. So always take advantage of this. This is what you always want to do. If they just so happen to get on this wall right here, you want to go for a long piece. Once again, peanut butter over your left hand side, so your right hand can peek. And what can we take away from both of those moves? There's a 1x1. We approach with 2 cones, 4 walls, right hand peanut butter, right? Covering up, spread a wall out, and wait. If we're getting pressured, make a 1x2, cover yourself up with the center wall based on wherever they are, and change your position. Not only do you need to know the moves, you need to know when and where to use them. But before we get into that, thank you guys so much for being here. Anything and everything that you purchase while using my code will be appreciated. Also, shout out to Plums. Shout out to Plums. That boy goated. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Fire. Okay, like I was saying, now that you have a list of moves, I'm going to show you what to do with them. First things first, I want you to download or go to the website called Quizlet. This is the website that you go to make flashcards and study. Then I want you to go down to flashcards. Right here, we have term and definition. By the way, you can make as many of these as you want to. Right here where you see it says term, that will be the question. In other words, the action that you have to react to. Definition, of course, would be the answer. In other words, that would be a reaction or a counter to what they just did, as in like an action. So once again, let's go over the moves I explained earlier. As you can see, this says when they build a box, and that would be counterpiece, place 4 walls, and shoot off pump delay or spray. And the best way to utilize these flashcards is to make sure that when you read these messages out, these flashcards, Make sure that you have an image in your head of exactly what you should be doing and what it looks like. Once again, the front of the card is what they're doing and the back of the card is your response. The next one is what we also did earlier, when they rush your box. Same thing from earlier. Before I flip this card, I should be able to guess what the answer is accurately. And not only that, I should be able to imagine that image like I said earlier. I should have a clear image of it in my head. Cone with no peaks, peanut butter over right, long piece, ramp tunnels, and going out the top. If you don't have the answer to this in your head before you flip it, you need to study more. Now let's say that you have your flashcards memorized. The next step will be training them down to your instincts. So let's get in game. You want to make sure you have your flashcards loaded up on your phone or somewhere on the side of you. So when you go through them while you're on the game, you can act it out. Let's say we got the flashcard that said when they rush you, automatically I'm going to box up and assume this position as fast as possible. I got my peanut butter going over to my left. I'm also looking at every single wall, pretending that someone is on each and every single one of these walls. To make it more realistic, do it as fast as possible. Then when you complete the full action, start doing the next move. Now let's say you got the flashcard for when you rush them. You put the cones and then you put the walls down, edit the peanut butter and spread the wall weak. Then you want to try and do all of this off of pure instinct while you're reading your flashcards. The key to turning your knowledge into instinct and getting good at the game like Peterbot or Reed is to simply fight better players and make more flashcards as you go. Practice the flashcards every single day before you continue on with your routine. Your flashcards are going to keep everything that you learned recently stored into your brain because you go over it every single day. It's not the same consistent pattern, it's going to be randomized because it's everything that you ever learned all in one place. By the way, if you want my flashcards and what I've learned and the ones that I'm currently working on, check the link in the description. But anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to my Fizzy Pops. And also feel free to join the Discord server. I'm not that active, but there's still stuff in there that you can look at. But like I was saying, I appreciate every single one of y'all. Thank y'all so much. This is one of the best videos that I posted in a long time. And if you really enjoyed it, feel free to like the video and subscribe, and even rewatch it if you want to. Make sure you understand everything that I'm talking about and that you're able to use it in your own favor. But anyways, I know this is my third time, but peace out and bye. Do any of y'all listen to Jades? I listen to Jades.